What is up, everyone? How we doing? It's Tuesday, and it's time to make some cold calls. We're live, and let's have some fun today. We're going to be calling commercial real estate properties. If you're new to the channel, my name is Henry Eisenstein. I'm a commercial real estate broker. Been a part of over $650 million worth of real estate deals in my career. Over $10 million in commissions and fees. Coach to many, mentor to many. I create content on YouTube because I just love to do it. And while I'm making my prospecting calls, it's really easy for me just to click live and share what we're doing on a daily basis because we sell, between, 20 and $50 million a month worth of real estate. And I want to show you how you can do the exact same thing because it really isn't that complicated. So we're going to click a list and we're going to have some fun. So here we go. Here we go. If you guys have been following us, I try to do this a couple times a week now. I rearrange my schedule so I can spend more time with you guys and making some calls, being a little bit more active. Why the heck not? Let's do it. Just loading up the dialer here.
Please. You are now logged into the Mojo dialer.
So if you're wondering what we do, what's up, Marco? How we doing?
On your screen to begin calling.
To make it really simplistic, we really just use a software, CoStar, Reonomy, Correxy. We use a bunch of the same softwares. IDI we use. We pull a bunch of lead lists, and then I throw those lead lists into a dialer, and I literally just dialer's called Mojo. Been using them for 10 years. I do not think they're the best dialer out there. I think there are many other dialers that you could use. I've been using this one for 10 years. It works. Why change it? So let's have some fun today. Let's see if we can get any leads.
943 can't take your call now.
Obviously, we have to start things off with either a voicemail or a fax machine. That's just how the rules work.
To sell us something or possibly someone wanting to need.
What the hell was that? Hey, Boris. Great. All right.
Hello?
Great chat. I hung up the phone. Thought it was a voicemail, so I clicked voicemail. He's going to get a really weird message now. But I use an auto dialer, so it's completely hands-free. It just dials numbers for me, so I don't have to be focused on that.
System.
If you're in the real estate business and you do not use a dialer, I think you're like using a pager or the radio or a BlackBerry, whatever you want to say. You're very, very old school. Get a dialer. Stop hand dialing. So we're going to go for 2 hot leads today.
Please leave a message after the tone. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound.
Dropping voicemails. Oh, this guy's calling me back. And then let's see, 2 accepted. I'm trying some goals here for today. 2 accepted offers, 2 hot leads, 2 LOIs, 2 accepted offers as per usual. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from and what kind of lead lists you guys are prospecting if you're doing it with me. We're getting a lot of voicemails. I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to flip lists. I'm just feeling like, because what my team does, and the reason why we get a lot of voicemails is because we rip through these lead lists and we remove all the correct information, right? So what ends up happening is that you end up being left with properties we have not been able to get in touch with. So the vast majority of the time because I like to recall a lot of the lists because a lot of my guys, for whatever reason, will only call 2 times. And I like calling 3, 4, or 5, or 6 times so we can try to get something on the phone. So here's a good list. Why don't I hit this? Here we go. I mean, we have, I don't know, 2,000 lists that we've pulled in this system. So this one actually even has another 150 that's never been called on this list. So let's call it.
Are now closed. If you know the.
All right, good conversation. So Panos, how we doing? If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you give this a thumbs up, subscribe or follow me wherever you're watching this content. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Let me know that you like it.
Available at the tone. Please record.
We're doing virtual wholesaling at the moment. I'm marketing in North Carolina, Fayetteville, and Jacksonville. Okay, cool. Love it, man. Listen, wherever you do it, I always say just do it. Doesn't matter where you prospect, just prospect. Right? Pick up the phone, get people on the phone, give them the same exact pitch, follow the script book, which is free in the description down below. The script works. You literally just read it verbatim. I promise you'll see success. Might take you a little bit of time because it took me a little bit of time.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have You've reached Streets Photography. Please leave your name.
Let's see what we can make happen today. We're going to go for 2 hot leads, 2 accepted offers, 2 LOIs. That's the goal for today. We're going to prospect for an hour and 30 minutes or so, right around 12 o'clock. We got to jump, got a couple Zoom calls. See what we can make happen today. Write down in the chat box, by the way, if you're following this type of content, what is your daily goal? What is your daily goal when it comes to prospecting? How many calls you're trying to make? How many leads you're trying to have? Conversations? When do you say enough is enough? Do you do it by time? Do you go like, I'm going to call till X time?
East.
Right? Or do you like, I'm going to continue to prospect until I hit X goal? What do you do today? Like, what is your minimum metric? I'm going to prospect until what? Hey, Jamie?
No, this is Rick.
Hey, Rick, my name is Henry. I was calling about a building on Old Marlton Pike in Medford. Do I have the right person?
No, we have nothing to do out there. We're in North Dakota.
Okay, sorry.
Nothing to do out there.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Have a great day. Next person. I don't need to hear it. But you want to have good minimum metrics, right? Like typically when we're talking to our students, the problem is that most people, what they do is that they prospect either to a time or a certain amount of calls, right? These are big mistakes, right? Like you either prospect to a certain time on a calendar, right? Or you prospect to a certain amount of calls. Hey, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah, hey, Brian. My name is Henry. I was calling you about a building you have on International Drive in Bud Lake. How you doing?
Huh?
I might have the wrong number. You don't own a building there?
What? I
Okay.
have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. No worries. Sorry, wrong number.
All right.
Just got to mute it. I don't know why it's not going to the next one. Anyways, so what happens is that these people, I'll give you an example, right? An agent call me up and like, how many calls you're making? Well, I try to make, 50 calls a day. Like number one, 50 calls a day is absolutely nothing, right? Like 50 calls a day is like, prospecting for 40 minutes on a dialer, right? Like I'm literally completely hands-free. I'm at 11 dials, by the way. I literally haven't touched my phone other than just to mute it right now, right? So like, I don't.
Hello, this is Brian. Please leave a message for.
All right, well, that was the right Brian. Anyway, so like it's completely hands-free and like I'm already again at 11 dials and about another 30 seconds, I'll be at 13 dials, right? Like, so it's like, if you really want to get to 50 dials and you have a dialer, right, that handles for you, you can do that very quickly. Right? So 50 dials is like nothing. That's one. Number two, some people go like, all right, well, I'm going to try to do it to a conversation goal, right? Like, well, I'm going to do it until I have 20 conversations a day. Okay, cool. You have a bunch of, and I used to do this, right? Like I had a bunch of tallies. I get to 20, I'm done. But here's the thing, when you only do conversations, right? The problem is it's the wrong metric.
Purposes. If you know
And let me tell you why it's the wrong metric. Because if you're just tracking how many conversations you're having, what happens is that you're not actually tracking the most important metric that you should be tracking, which is leads generated. So you can have 20 conversations a day every day. Hey, Joe?
I can't get to the phone right now. I'll call you back.
All right, we'll see. Anyways, the point is you can have 20 conversations every day for months on end and never generate a lead. And you can think that you're doing the right work, but you're never going to make any money, right? So you need to be tracking how many leads you're generating. Hey, George?
Again, press any.
Took a bunch of voicemails. Unbelievable amount of voicemails. So anyway, so you have to be tracking the amount of leads. That's the most important thing. How many leads a day are you generating? Go till you hit 3, right? 3 leads a day. If you do it in 30 minutes, great. Congratulations. You did it in your first 5 calls. Congratulations, right? Focusing on leads, right? How many leads did you generate today, right? Hey, Marvin?
Yes, who's this?
Yeah, hey, Marvin. My name is Henry. I was calling you about a building you have on South Main Street in Marlboro. How you doing?
Building on Main Street in Marlboro. Main Street. Yeah, which one?
Which one is this now?
I guess I was calling you about 15, but so listen, I run an investment company. We're actually selling another property and going through a 1031 exchange. So I was just calling to see if you'd be totally against selling any of the buildings you have here on South Main.
No, I'm not selling anything. I'm keeping everything. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. I just, I have a buddy of mine who's a big time developer and needs to put a woodworking shop right here, ASAP.
Woodworking shop? I don't even know where to tell him. My gosh, why would he want to be in Main Street in Marlboro anyway?
No, because he's already, he right now is right off of 79, like right down the block, right? He's in, he's been leasing and he wants to buy a building and then redo it, you know?
Yeah. Good luck. I don't even know what to tell them. I mean, especially on Main Street, because a lot of it's historical built. You know what I mean?
I know.
They don't even let you do anything. You know what I'm saying? It really stinks. That's the good thing about my building. It's the only contemporary building there. Pretty much.
Basically. No, you're right. You're right. I know.
Where I could do what I have to do, especially in that area. So I don't even know what to tell them, Boy, good luck.
I appreciate that.
Especially for that.
I mean, just curious, Marvin, do you happen to have any other, anything in the portfolio you might consider selling that might be giving you a little bit of a headache or a loan coming due?
No, I don't sell anything. I mean, I got so much stuff, but I just don't sell anything. Just keep buying stuff. But,
What are you looking to buy these days? Some of my partners might want to get rid of something.
It depends in Marlboro. Anything on Route 9 that's decent. I mean, you know what I mean? I have a lot of properties on Route 9 too. You know what I'm saying? So anything on Route 9 is pretty good.
From what town to what town?
Freehold, Manalapan, Marlboro, which you probably won't be able to find anyways because there's nothing there, as I know. Because
would you go more south? Would you go more north?
Where south, with Lakewood? Are you kidding me? The prices are crazy.
No, I meant like Route 9 Howell. Would you go more north? Would you go like
Yeah, Howell. Yeah, Howell's all right. Yeah, Howell. I own a lot of stuff in Howell too. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So anything you find on Route 9, just let me know.
What, Mark? Should I give you a call or do you have an email that I should send you something on? What was the last three letters? Got it. So what, a Gmail? Sorry. Okay, great. All right, sounds good. I'll shoot you an email when I have a few things, which I'll have my my assistant send it over. All right.
Okay, sounds great.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it.
You got it. Bye. So very interesting lead for sure. Great buyer. Obviously, we went the seller route, didn't want to sell, so we immediately flipped it over to a buyer conversation. Keep in mind that is always the process, right? Keep in mind that this is how you stay ahead of the game, because when you're prospecting these people, not every single person you're going to speak to is going to be a great seller, right? Some of them are just not going to want to sell, which is totally freaking normal, by the way. We don't force people to sell, but what I like to try to do is flip them to a buyer conversation. This is, by the way, how I built my, 10, and I think we're at like almost 12,000 person buyer list right now. So it's like you have, thousands and thousands of buyers, and we have obviously, I think we have 75,000 total people in our database. So what we do now is that every single one of these people that we speak to, just like this, we put them in our, categorize them and set them up the right way. But like these types of people, this is how you build a simple buyer list, right? Like I'm prospecting for a client who's looking for something. This guy obviously doesn't want to sell. Why would I not ask him if he wants to buy something? So I will absolutely do that. And he turned out to be a great buyer. So anyways, one more added to the buyers list. We like to see it. Pano says, I'm focusing on closing appointments. Yeah, great. Listen, like if you want to also like try to set more listing appointments, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for you. Like, look, if you want to get more listings, then what you should be tracking every day is how many listing appointments you set a day. It shouldn't be just set up as how many calls am I making or how many conversations am I having. It's how many listing appointments did I set today? How many leads did I generate today, right? Like those are the more important metrics that are actually going to get you to see the biggest and best results in your business. You know, too many people are just like, oh, well, I'm prospecting for 2 hours and 2 hours only. Okay, well, you only had 14 conversations and you made 72 calls and generated 0 leads and 0 appointments. Did you really do what you needed to do today? Right? Like maybe 2 hours isn't enough. Maybe your skill sets need to be improved. Right? Maybe you're not doing the right activities. Maybe you're not saying the right script. Maybe you don't know the right objections, right? Or you don't know the right strategic way to move through a script, right? There's a lot of things that can be happening, and that's what's possibly limiting you from seeing the massive levels of success that you probably should see if you were just making these few adjustments. So it's like making these adjustments on the fly. I mean, like, you just can't assume that what you've been doing here has been, hey, Francine. Okay, wrong number. Sorry about that. Have a great day. Just deleting the number. You can't assume that what has gotten you here will get you there, right? Like to make your first 100 grand is gonna be very different than making your first, 500K or $1 million, right? Like a lot of it will be the same, but a lot of it will be different, right?
System 4-1.
Because like, look, hypothetically, closing one deal and making 50 grand, right? Kudos, right? Like, but doing that repeatedly every single month is different than doing it one time, throughout the entire year. So, there's a couple adjustments you have to be making, right? Like, being consistently prospecting every day. Hey, Lisa.
We're real bad about checking it before you call.
LOL. Like, are you prospecting every day? Are you doing your follow-up every single day? Or do you have a CRM system that's completely organized with automatic text messages, emails, ringless voicemails that are completely set up so you can be completely hands-free from your follow-up, so it's automatically doing your follow-up for you, right? Or are you doing it 100% of the effort yourself? Do you have assistants that are handling 100% of your paperwork, your transaction management, your marketing, right? So you can be hands-free and doubling down on the sales activities that got you to where you are now and will get you to the next point.
The new call is unavailable.
Right? Are you looking to hire junior agents, right? Like, are you making several $100,000 a year where now you can bring on junior agents who can also be prospecting with you to help you with more leads? Because the more leads, the more business you will probably do, right? Are you enhancing your skill sets and building a better buyer list at all times, right? Like doubling down on your skill sets. Are you improving your skills each and every single day? Hey, John.
Your message and hang up.
Right? Like if you're not working on your objection handling and your scripting, right? Your role playing when it comes to your scripting, if you're not constantly and working on. Hey, Lisa. Nobody's on. If you're not constantly working on how to enhance your systems, better your marketing, better your sales process, better your client success, right? Like your transaction management process, right? If you're not constantly working on those systems, who's going to be doing it for you, right?
Training and quality assurance purposes.
If you're not constantly looking to build your buyers list, right? Like in increasing your buyers list, not only the buyer capacity, like the types of individuals that you're speaking to and how much that property they're actually looking to acquire, but also the relationships with those individuals and how many people are actually on those lists, right? You can work on all three capacities, right? So like what a lot of people do is that they have 4 people on their list and then, like they only work with these 4 people. Well, okay, if those people are all buying 5 to 10 or 20 properties a year, great. But if they're all buying 1 property or less per year, you're going to struggle financially in this business, right? How many, like constantly be adding to that buyer list and constantly be building a deeper relationship with those individuals, as well as constantly filtering it out, right? Like you only want to be spending the most time with the people who are the most qualified and to buy the most property every year, right? Because I look at every single person. If you can only work with 10 people. Hey, Diane. Diane, can you hear me?
Hello, American.
Yeah, I was looking for Diane, please.
Speaking.
Yeah, hi, Diane. My name is Henry, and I was calling you about your building on Broadway in Fairlawn. How you doing?
What about my building?
Well, I run an investment company locally, and we just sold off a property, and we're going through a 1031 exchange. And I was just curious if you'd be totally against selling the property here.
You're talking to the wrong person.
Wrong person. Okay, who should I be talking to?
Who is this?
My name is Henry. I'm just a local investor, probably similar to yourself. I own a few properties in the area and figured I'd give you a ring to see if you consider selling the property.
You can contact someone. Hold on.
She's still there. I think she put me on hold, but we're going to see what happens. Danny says, how can I get in touch with you directly? I have a couple of deals I want to present to you. I'm in Pompano Beach. Any chance of us setting up a personal consultation? Danny, in the description down below, there's a link that says if you have great deals, what to do with it. Okay. And she hung up on me. That's great. Guys, give me 60 seconds. My water is in the other room. I didn't bring it in here. I want to grab my water, obviously, if I'm going to be yelling at the screen for an hour and a half. So give me a minute. All right. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I got the water. Now I'm ready to kick things off. Let's see what we can do. Here we go. Now I'm back. We're back. Here we go. We're still trying to get 2 hot leads. We got 1 decent buyer lead so far. Some guy who looks to buy, it looks like retail, mixed use types of properties, office buildings, all along a main corridor in central New Jersey. Could be a great buyer. Seems like he owns a lot of stuff. Look like his portfolio is worth at least 20 or 30 million bucks. So obviously could be a good person. But again, big mistake, like I was mentioning before, big mistake people make with their buyers list is that they work with people who don't have the buyer capacity to actually help them do business, right? Like the big mistake I made in my career was that I've had, let's say, a couple people on my buyers list, and they all maybe had enough money to do one deal one time and probably couldn't reload that cash for another couple of years. So they would buy one, they wanted to buy one deal right now, right? They were ready. They owned maybe 1 or 2 before. Hey, Herbert. All right. Well, that wasn't him, or maybe Anyways, the point was that these individuals were looking for one property, right? But the problem was if I was lucky enough to sell them the property, which I did sometimes, right? They now could not buy another property. So now I had to go find another buyer to possibly do some business with. And then some of the guys were so new, right? I worked with newer investors at that time because I was sort of newer, obviously the beginning parts of my career. I was working with investors who were like, newer to the industry, newer to the thought or the idea of buying commercial real estate. Hey, Lyle.
Hello?
Yeah, Lyle, I was calling you about a building you have on Genesee Drive in Morganville. How you doing?
Who is this?
My name is Henry. I was giving you a call because I'm also an investor in the market here, and I was giving you a call because I just sold a building in the area, and I'm going through a 1031 exchange, and I was just curious if you'd be totally against selling the building here on Genesee Drive.
Yes, we're totally against selling it, but thank you anyway. Good luck.
Thanks so much. Okay, thanks so much. Okay. Definitely pretty against it. So look, when he's not against it, I'm not going to convince him. Obviously sounds like he's in his own, I could hear like a ton of background noise. He only owns this one building.
Real Estate Management Group and its affiliated entities. For rental information, dial 1.
That is so loud. Yeah, he owner occupies the building. I can see that here. Interesting. And he's got one property in the portfolio. He's owned it for 30 years. That's pretty impressive. And look, sometimes with those types of people, depending on how I feel, you can actually go back and I'm like, look, I completely respect you don't want to sell it, but I'm just curious, if you got the right price, we consider doing a lease back. He's, obviously he's occupying the building. Some people are open to it. Some people aren't. See, I could have even go one step further with that. Hey, Robert. Good chat. So anyway, then you have these investors who are first-time investors, and the big problem with working with first-time investors is that one, they're typically too scared to ever actually do a deal, right? So like they have the idea of wanting to do a deal, right? And they come to you and they're jacked up, they're excited, they're like, I have all this stuff set up. Sometimes they're like, oh, I already have my lender set up, I got my this set up, my contract or whatever. And then they just never end up buying anything, right? Like, because like they're so excited, and then like they actually get to the table and they're like, I don't want to do this, right? Like, and they'll just never ever pull the trigger. That's one. Two, they're incredibly picky. Like a lot of times for the ones that are actually going to actually do some business, right? Maybe it's like their second deal or something like that, but they're just overly picky. They like will not buy anything that is not exactly to the T. You know, this metric, that metric, this metric, that metric, and you're like, okay, well, that's freaking impossible to find right now in this type of economy. You know, like they're like, I want to buy a 10 cap at 50 cents on the dollar basis. It's like, you know, because they got one good deal. They found the one gem, the one time ever in history in that area, right? And they think they can do it again and again and again and again. It's like, okay, well, you're probably only going to buy one deal every 10 years. Good luck, right? So anyways, that's the second thing. Number three is that when you're working with these newer investors, is that they also don't have, some of them don't have the relationships built out. So like they don't get the best financing, and maybe they work with a person who's not as, you know, not as great of or not as seasoned of a professional in some of these instances. So you have a really annoying attorney who you're probably dealing with. You have a really annoying lender who you might be dealing with, or bad title companies, or bad inspectors, and they take forever. They don't get back to people, and they end up delaying deals, and they end up getting deals killed, right? So many, you know, for those three reasons, I'm not a huge fan of working with first-time investors. Hey, Robert?
Start recording at the tone.
Yeah. So when it comes to wholesaling, I'm a huge fan, right? Like, you know, a lot of people get a few things wrong when it comes to wholesaling that absolutely make it near impossible for them to make any money when it comes to wholesaling. Now, let me be very clear. Wholesaling is a fantastic strategy for commercial real estate brokers and investors to think about using. Hey, Tom?
For sales, press 3.
Great.
For precision farming, press.
But one thing I need to make clear to you when it comes to wholesaling is that you need to have an incredibly sizable spread, the delta between what the seller is willing to accept and what a buyer is willing to take the property at, right, or buy the property for, right? That needs to be a very, very, very large spread. Now, let me explain what that means. It typically should be close to between 10 and 20% for you to go, okay, this makes sense to wholesale. Because if it's like 2%, right? Because I double close everything. I'm a principal in the transaction. I'm not just trying to take assignment fees, which is another way of wholesaling. Hey, Robert. Good chat. Right? Because we double close, and this gives us the most protection in a deal, what we typically will do here is that, sorry, let me say this a different way. Because we double close, which gives us a lot more protection, it also gives us more cost. Hey, Angela. Unbelievable. Having really bad luck here with some phone numbers. It has more costs, right? Like when you're double closing on a deal, I incur, you know, attorney fees. I incur recording fees. I incur a lot of cost in order to close, right? So, you know, people don't realize that when you know, look, you could do assignments. You can get away with some assignments when it comes to residential real estate, but in commercial, you need to double close.
Operator, 6 for sales or 7.
A lot of voicemails. Hey, Jeff. Jeff, you there? Next, please. So because I have this incurred cost when it comes to double closing, our spreads need to be infinitely larger.
Recording, you may hang up.
Because what happens, and the big mistake I see people make, is that they do a few things. One, big mistake when it comes to wholesaling is that they try to lock up a deal at too much money, right? They're overpaying on the purchase, which is where you make all your money, to be honest with you. So you can't ever overpay on the purchase. Another one. Jesus. We're actually going to do a quick follow-up call. Let's do that. So that was number one. You can't overpay on the purchase. Number two is that if you're doing a double close, you need to have more than enough spread where you can pay, call it 2% in closing costs on the sale minimum and still make money. And number three, you need to make sure you're working with a very, very, very seasoned buyer who's not going to screw you, right? Because it happens all the time with people who don't know what they're doing. And number four is you need to make sure that your due diligence time frame is longer. Your closing time frame is longer than your buyers, right? Because if that happens, right, like where, actually, let me do this real fast. There you go. Because what happens is a I'll say this again. If your due diligence time frame is shorter than your buyer, right? Like, so you make an offer and you're like, I'll do a 30-day due diligence and 30-day close at X price. Let's say you're buying it at a great price though, okay? What happens though is that you go out to the market and say, hey, like I want to sell this deal at 200 grand more than I'm buying it for. Let's say that's enough of a spread. The problem is that you go to your buyer and then your buyer's like, actually, like I need 60 days due diligence and I need 60 days to close. And then you get this deal accepted and all of a sudden, you know, now you're reliant. Here's the problem, right? Like you said 30 days, they agreed to 30 days and now your buyer needs 60 and they're not willing to budge on that, but they're willing to pay you your price. What are you going to do now? You're going to be screwed and you're probably going to lose this deal because you made a promise you can't uphold, right? So very important that if you want to do wholesale deals, you must follow that metric. Buy below basis, buy very, very good deals. The money's made on the buy. You need to make sure that you have enough of a spread, right? Like between where you're at and what a buyer's willing to pay. And don't be afraid to just double check it with a couple dozen buyers and see where they're going to be at before you even lock it up, right? Number three, you want to make sure you're working with a very, very, very seasoned buyer who's not going to screw you, right? Like they've closed a bunch of deals and you can get in contract and you can trust it because you got to put down a deposit, people, right? I got to put down a $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, sometimes $100,000 deposit to do a wholesale deal, depending on the size of the deal. And of course, lastly, you need to make sure your terms are give you enough buffer room between and a wiggle room between what the buyer, your buyer's contract has, right? So if your seller's contract, you and the seller have a contract and your due diligence time frame is shorter than what your buyer is going to put down, you're going to be in trouble. So always typically go to the higher amount. You know, you want longer due diligence, a longer time frame to close when you're going to try to lock up a deal. So you have some wiggle room if needed. Let's do a quick follow-up call. I'm going to get this guy on the phone here. Let's get this guy on the phone. Here we go. Just texting with my agent now. We're going to get on the phone. We're trying to lock up a deal. Let's see what we can make happen. Let's see if we can get somebody on the phone here.
Hey, good morning, Henry.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Let's see if we can get him on the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm calling him right now.
Great. So what's important about three-way calls, because I do this a lot with my agents, is that, you know, they're going to get somebody on the phone, the client, right? Like in this instance, we're going to be calling the seller, trying to negotiate a deal.
All right, good morning, Garnet. This is Sagi. I have my partner Henry on the phone with us as well. Hey, yeah. How you all doing?
We're doing great. How you doing?
All right, thanks.
Wonderful. So just wanted to clarify a few things real quick. You got like maybe 5-10 minutes for us?
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, first and foremost, just wanted to clarify, obviously, you know, running the business there, how long again did you need to vacate if necessary?
Hadn't thought it all the way through, but I would think,
Roughly.
you know, I would think 3 months. I don't know what your experience has been in the past.
It is all dependent. You know, sometimes we deal with individuals, you know, in businesses where like they're already halfway out and they can get out in another 30 days. And then we have some people are like, look, I need 2 years, you know, like, and, you know, cause they're kind of winding down the business. They have, you know, they haven't made any definitive decisions. So, you know, if you're in a position where you feel like 3 months is appropriate, you know, we could even, is it something where, and again, these are just questions, not, you know, suggestions, but just questions for you. You know, the thought of if you did need more time, because obviously, I don't know if you'd want to start vacating maybe after due diligence or after closing, right, to use some of the money. But typically, I've even seen people, what they do is let's just say you do a 6-month lease back after closing. Obviously, you could leave slightly sooner if you felt like you needed it. But, you know, do you feel like something like that would be appropriate here, or you feel like you'd have enough time?
It may be, but I'm not real excited about paying market price for the lease back.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, look, you know, like regardless, but let's just say, and I'm not saying market for sure, but I'm saying something to at least, maybe, give you something on
I
that.
understand that part of it. Sure.
Okay. Okay, cool. And you feel like something like, like maybe a 90-day lease back or something like that would be appropriate at obviously a discounted rate? Is that something you'd want, or is that something that I just want to make sure? Because like my intention here is that
I think that's something we would want. Yes.
okay, got it. So, and again, I'm just going to, so a 90-day lease back after closing, at a discounted rate.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. No problem. All right. And then what we typically also have seen is that after the 90-day period, you could extend, but it would be like, you'd be at market rent for month to month, call it, like everything after the 90 days.
Okay.
All right. And again, like that, I've seen that many times. At least it gives, you more of an incentive to leave, as well as, for the seller to try to make things work,
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then, considering that, based on the pricing, because I know that we gave you an initial offer. And then we toured the building. I think you said you were looking for, $8 million last time we spoke, correct?
That wasn't me. It's going to have to be higher than that to get us to do that about that.
Gotcha. What do you feel like it needs to be? Because I think that's what your father said, I guess.
Well, yeah, but it needs to be, certainly it needs to be 10 million or more.
10 million or more. Got it. Okay. I don't know then, because obviously based on the conversation you had with your father or vice versa, I mean, he was very clear that he said something like 8 million would get it done.
But he's been out of the business a long time. So.
No, I understand. Look, I just don't want you to think that I'm trying to be an ass. Because that's just what he had mentioned to us. That's why I had mentioned it to you.
No, I mean, we've had other people offer 9, 10, or even a little more than that.
Yeah.
So.
Got it. Okay. So like, if we can get you so let's just be clear. So, cause like, obviously like, look, the party that we're working with right now is very, very interested in this property. Obviously we want to try to make it work. So you think that we can get a deal done at 10 million is your number?
I'm not going to answer that now because I don't want to mislead you.
No, I don't want to.
I haven't done an investigation of the market. I might come back to you and say, no, look, for us to move, it's got to be 11.5 or something.
Yeah.
After I've done a little bit of the research. But
yeah.
You may do that too and say, three comparable buildings sold at X per square foot.
I mean, look, I could give you a report right now of every property that's traded in the last 2 years or any time frame you desire in that area, right? And I can tell you that obviously, what?
So what is what's the average square footage then?
Hold on one second. Let me just do this with you here on the phone. 1 second. Let's do this together. Just pulling it up. All right, I got your property here. All right, let's pull a quick report here. 1 second. Yeah, so all I'm doing here is that I'm just going to do like a quick radius around your property.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll pull a quick report here. All right, here we go. And we'll do some sales comps, industrial, sale date, last 2 years. All right, this one just sold for 191 a foot. I'm just gonna start reading off square footages as I scroll down. 199 a foot, 124 a foot, 215 a foot. And 205 a foot, 197 a foot, 241 a foot. Hold on, 200 a foot, 193 a foot, 239 a foot, 169 a foot. So I mean, you're 195 a foot. I mean, you're obviously in the high hundreds, low 200s, per square foot for everything. And this is everything that's traded in the last 12 months. And there's 75 of them. So I mean, based on, and you said the square footage of the building was how big?
Just over 48,000.
All right, great. So let's just say that we obviously give you a range real quick, right? So let's just do 175 a foot is 8.5 million. And then let's say 210 a foot, 48 times 210. So yeah, so like 8.5 to 10. So 8.5 to 10 million or so.
Yep, but we don't have to move, so we're going to ask for a little bit of a premium.
Got it. Okay, I can respect that. Now, obviously, I could try to get you the best offer I possibly can, and we'll just put it in front of you and see if we can make anything happen. I'm curious now. Look, I can say to you with certainty because I personally sell about 50 or 80 of these or so a year. Okay. If you want a premium, which is totally fine, obviously, you can get, any number you want, you can desire it. That's fine. But in order to get you the best price, typically what I've seen, especially in markets like this, you might need to be offering things like seller financing, right? Where instead of, a client going out to the debt market and getting 7% debt, right, and being limited on how much they can pay, if you are maybe willing to hold back some paper for a period of time.
Not real excited about that. Maybe I'd consider a little bit, but it's not going to be dramatic.
Got it. Like, how much is a little bit?
Well, I don't know. I haven't thought it all the way through. But again, the reason is we don't have to move. So
no, I respect it, but it also you not having to move doesn't change the value of the building.
But you're right, but it changes how we want to approach it. Let me put it that way. So
no, which I respect. Like, I mean, obviously, like, look, the problem is that because let me give it to you this way. Is it important to you that you have certainty of close, right? Like because like I could definitely get somebody to give you some random offer, but for them to get financing and everything like that, they might not actually be able to close versus somebody who might pay you a little bit less, but be able to pay cash and guarantee a close in 60 days or less, might be a little bit more lucrative for you. Because obviously if you're going to move your business, you want to guarantee close.
Right. I understand all those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just got to see how it goes.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, because look, I know you said you were also looking to downsize, correct?
Potentially, yes. That would be an option.
Okay. So then I'm just curious, right? Like, so maybe you kept back a certain square footage in the building. Is that something you might want to do?
I doubt it.
You want to like move completely?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
That's just my thinking.
No, okay. I just want to talk it out with you, right? Like I'm trying to be, solution oriented and trying to figure out something here, sure. Right? So, in this instance, how much square footage you said you're looking for on the downsize?
Haven't figured that out. I would think 20,000.
Okay. And you think it would be more lucrative for you to leave where you're at?
I don't know. I haven't thought it all the way through, so I can't answer that.
Well, the only reason why I'm even asking that is, yeah, no, for sure. Look, the reason why I'm asking is like, look, the guy who we walked the building with you guys, right? Like we have an $8 million cash offer right now, right? So obviously, like I'm just trying to get a better gauge from you because obviously, based on terms and everything is going to be important. Obviously, price is important, but so are the terms. And if we made it easier for you, where like hypothetically you didn't have to move and then buy another building and then fit it all out and do your thing, maybe it is easier for you to stay. I don't know that answer.
Not sure either. Too many other things to consider, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay. So look, I have this, this offer for 8 million. What information or time do you need in order to kind of come to a reasonable idea of what you need so I can give them a counter of some sort?
You're talking price.
price, terms, the whole nine, right? Like I mean, this is an $8 million cash offer to you. You'd probably end up netting like 7.7 million after commissions and everything like that. Okay. So net to you, call it of 7.7. But it's a cash deal, right? Like this is no financing, no need for any of that. It's, you have a short period of time for due diligence and you'll have a certainty of closing. Right. So, I know that again, you may want to look over things, but I just want to get an idea of exactly what you feel like we would be able to go back to this party. Cause look, they're a cash buyer. They've got money. I don't know how much higher they're willing to go, but maybe we can get them to come up a little bit.
Now, I would think, I don't think we would consider this lower than a cash offer for 10 million.
Got it. 10 million. Okay. Well, look, I respect it. I'm not here to, judge or tell you to do anything else differently. I'm just trying to get a better understanding so I can try to put a deal together for you. Okay. So,
Understood.
okay. So let's just say I can go back to them at 10 million cash and see if they're willing to do something. Is that fair?
That's fair. And then we'll need, I would think, 30, 45 days to give this full consideration of what we want to do.
Got it. Okay. I mean, like, what do you feel like would also support you in making that decision? One way or the
I'm
other?
not sure what
Because I'm saying you need 30 to 45 days to consider it. I'm saying, like, what would help you make the decision one way or the other besides price and terms here?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say one thing or another.
No, because like the last thing I want to do is like, obviously, look, this client sold a building and they need another building that they're going to occupy. Okay. So I don't know if they have that kind of time to wait, because if they can give you 10 million bucks, they're sort of like, hey, like we want to close in 60 days, not wait 30 days to then start due diligence.
Just let me know what they're able to do and we'll consider it.
Okay. No, that's fine. I just want to be transparent. I don't want to just,
Sure.
say something that isn't true. So, okay, I'm going to go back to them. Let me see what we can do numbers wise, and we can try to take it from there. Is that fair?
All right. Very good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thanks. Bye. So before I call my agent back, I want to explain this. His father, who is making obviously some of the decisions, we spoke to the father first. He said he only wanted $8 million. Okay. We had offered him $6 million and he countered us at $8 million. Okay. So we were prepared to do a deal at $8 million, right? Like I have a guy who's willing to pay more than $8 million actually. So long story short, obviously now we have to call the buyer and be like, hey, like now the son wants a lot more money and we got to see if we can put something together. Here we go.
Hey,
Okay. So this is why we have to confirm with both parties beforehand.
of course. Yeah, he's definitely a negotiator. So,
No, but I mean, like, he wasn't the one who told you 8 million.
right. Yeah. Yeah. The father told me that he spoke with his sons and that they said that his property's worth 8 million. But yeah, of course, when we have a conversation with him, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, because I'm saying, like, this is why anytime you're speaking with more than one party, you need to confirm with all parties involved at what price and what terms they would consider.
Yeah.
Okay. Do me a favor real fast. Call the father.
Okay. Let me call him right now.
Here's the important thing, guys. If you have one party who's a little bit of a nut job, in this case, we have somebody who is, okay, they want a little bit too much money. What you got to do is, like, one of the parties who's more interested in selling wants to get out of it, right? We're going to call them up and we're going to let them know, like, hey, this is what they're trying to tell us. So that person can also help us in trying to get this deal done. Okay. Because obviously the more parties internally that can help us do it, will help us overall in getting a deal done. So let's see. See if we can get on the phone with the dad.
I didn't get an answer.
When he calls you back, let me know. Do me a favor in the meantime. Let's call your the buyer.
Okay. You want to call him right now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me give him a call. 1 second. I'm just adding him to my contacts because I have him only on WhatsApp.
It's okay. Take your time. We got a moment here. So what's going to happen now is that, listen, and by the way, this is how you need to negotiate. Now, look, made the mistake. I didn't realize he didn't speak to both parties. I thought he had spoken with both parties. That's at least what I understood.
Okay.
So when you have multiple parties in discussion, you want to make sure you speak to every single party, understand exactly what number and terms they're willing to accept. Okay, that's always number one. Okay, get an understanding from all parties involved. What number and terms will they accept? Price and terms. Now, we obviously then can present that information to the buyer. But now, in this situation, we spoke to
him. How are you? I have this is Sagi. I have my partner Henry on the call as well.
How you doing? Can you hear us?
Did it get dropped? He answered me. I think something happened when it merged. Let me call him one more time.
Yep, go ahead. Now, the important thing is that we have to make sure we get the buyer on the phone right away and discuss with them this adjustment, because I think we told them $9 million. Now it's going to be 10. Not going to be easy to do here, but we're going to see. We will see.
It went straight to voicemail now. I don't know if he's out of the country, but he answered the first time. Let me text him.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we can call him on WhatsApp if you need to.
Yeah, that might be better. Let me hang up and we could call on WhatsApp.
All right, call me back if you get him on the phone. Bye.
Okay.
So now we're going to call the buyer and we're going to try to get him on the phone and we're going to negotiate this deal. But again, this is where it gets complicated doing off-market business, right? Like, the big things is double confirming with seller price and terms, right? And then double confirming with buyer price and terms. Okay, just to be clear, this is what you're looking for, correct? That's what I tried to do now. What are you looking for? You know, and I try to repeat it like, hey, just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, because I'm taking notes here, I'm just going to repeat this back to you to make sure I heard you, okay? You'd like to, vacate and have maybe 3 months of time to rent back the building at below market rent. Okay, yes. You're looking for 10 million? Yes, $10 million. Okay, 10 million. I can go back to the buyer and say 10 million. Yeah, 10 million cash. Yes, I understand. Okay, because what happens often is that people will make these things up, right? Like they'll be like, oh, what, because they'll be talking to you and they're just talking fast. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, like I need at least 10 million bucks, at least 10 million. Here's the problem. They say things like, I need at least $10 million. Okay. Doesn't mean they're willing to accept 10 million, by the way. You got to listen to actually what they're saying. Right. So when you're dealing with this types of situations, it's like, it's very, very, oh, here you go. Here he's calling me now. Hey, how you doing?
Hello. Hey, how are you? We have Rotem on the line as well.
Hey, Rotem. How you doing?
Hey, Henry, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much. You got a few minutes for us real quick to discuss something on this deal?
Yeah.
Okay. So look, I want to be very clear. We had spoken with the father in the situation a handful of times before we set up the tour. We ended up meeting the son, who we never were able to get on the phone with until this morning, because we tried to present the offer to the father. The father's like, hey, just present it to my son. He's handling more things now. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the challenge. The son came back to us and they said they want a lot more money. Okay.
What are you talking about?
$10.5 million. 10.5 million. And then they want to be able to lease it back for 3 months.
Hold on, 10.5. How much is it weights a square feet?
He said it's a little over 48,000. So it's price per square foot. Let's do the math together. 10.5 divided by 48 and change. I'm just gonna say 48,000. It's like 218,750 a foot. Now look, that market can support it. You're in a great location, and I'm not just saying that. I'm part of a.
No, it's not about the location. No, the location good. Everything is good. Remember, I told you the first conversation. This warehouse is not catered for distribution. Pretty much, it's a manufacturing facility.
For sure.
With the crane, with everything, with the 5 doors ground level, which are complete. There are only 2. You remember, it's like 2. So I was kind of calculating, what do I need to do because if I'm going to take the warehouse, I will need to make at least 2 more loading docks.
Yep,
if
I
not
understand.
3 more.
Okay.
Just because I can't, I have like, I have a fleet of trucks, and I know we're like a distribution is like a beehive, you need like in the morning you have to have like load like 4 or 5 trucks at the same time.
I understand what you're saying.
So
you have 2 loading docks there now and 5 drive-ins.
Right.
Yeah. So you'd need 4 loading docks.
So what did you feel when you talked to him?
The son was very deliberate. Look, we're trying to get the father back on the phone. He's just not answering us at the moment. But the son is saying basically along the lines, we would like to sell, but in order for us to close down our business and vacate this building, we need 10.5. Like he's like, my father has said many different numbers over the years, and he's like, we finally ran the numbers of where we needed to be, and this is where he said he came back at. This is the first time I'm hearing that number. So, but look, if we get 10.5, he said he would, he would also, he'd be very interested in hopefully doing something ASAP.
Okay. And he needs a lease back, you said, for how long?
3 months. 3 months. He wants to do a lease back, 3 months, a little bit of a discounted market, a discount off market rent because he doesn't want to pay market rent while he's leaving. But I said that basically what we, maybe we'd be able to do is give him 3 months at a discount. But if he needs any extensions, it goes straight to market rent.
My problem is I need the warehouse yesterday. I don't know if Mendel explained to you the situation. But
no, I understand that. I mean, look, to be honest with you, he needs 3 months to get out, right? And we might be able to even say look, this is just what he said to us. Now, I don't mind us saying, listen, we'll give you 10.5, but I need you out by closing. I can also say that. Right. And maybe you can do what we'll do is that we'll have let's just say something like 30-day due diligence or something like that. And then as soon as due diligence ends and your deposit goes hard, he has to start vacating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where like, look, at least.
What did you feel about, let's say, if you're going to counter him, like we said, this is like, I'm not going to consider any lower than 10.5 or
between you and I, here's the thing. If you let's just play at this card. I definitely don't mind. I'm never the kind of person because I talk to I'm talking to you like my best friend. Okay. I don't mind negotiating. I never mind it, but I'm telling you, this guy is probably not going to budge off 10.5. So if you want me to go in at 9.5, maybe.
I'm asking you from your impression.
Look, what I'm saying to you is, look, if you can wrap your head around 10.5, if you can make sense of that, but you're like, hey, I need him out. Let's offer 9.5 first, and let's see if we can save you $1 million. I don't mind that. I obviously would love to save you money, right? Like if we could say, I'm not opposed to that. So, but more likely than not, this is going to be at 10.5 probably.
Right. Okay. Let me. I'm in Germany now.
Okay. Yep.
We have a trade show here. We have a booth. So let me think about it today. I want to talk to my partner. He's here. He's not next to me right now, but I'm going to see him in like 2 hours or something like that.
Okay.
And let me discuss it with him, and let's talk later. Or
call me.
Later.
Yeah, that's fine. Call us anytime. That's fine. Shoot us a message, and we'll jump on a call later tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see what we're going to do.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Yep. You got it. Bye.
Good day. Bye.
All right, let me just update my agent, and we're going to go on to the next cold call here. And I'll update you. Okay, so obviously, the conversation with the buyer went as well as it probably could. We're going to see where his head's at, but we're going to try to put something together. This is about as close as we can get.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
If we're gonna make it happen, it's great. I mean, you're way more experienced than me, but I don't know. Too, also felt a little bit like the son just threw like a crazy high number just to see.
But look, this is the thing. We need to get the father on the phone too. We must get the father on the phone. Because if we can get the father on our side and be like, listen, man, look, we have an offer for $8 million cash, right? I can probably get my guy to $8.5 million cash, right? And he's willing to close quickly and be flexible, right? But at the same time, like your son's asking for, said he wanted over $10 million, right? Is this a conversation you actually had with your son, or is he just trying to yank our chain? Right?
Yeah.
So anyways, we need to get him on the phone to at least have the father on our side, because if we can have the father on our side, it'll be very much supportive down the road. But look, to be honest with you, if the father's been out of the business for a long time, it doesn't really matter what he says. He could have said $2 million.
Yeah, exactly. He seems like he's like he's out of the business. He's already like old to the point where, you know, he can't even think about this shit. So, but that's when he told me that, you know, when I came at him with 6.5, he said, I spoke to my sons and they said that the property's worth $8 million. So that made me feel more comfortable.
For sure.
But yeah, of course, we didn't actually talk to the sons.
I mean, look, it's the same thing. Like my grandfather still owns a couple dozen properties. If someone called him up and said, hey, I want to buy your property, you know, and he could say some number, right? And they could give him an offer. And then when it gets to me, I'm not going to let him sell it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So anyways, I don't blame the son. It's okay. But I also like, we need to kind of remember the whole purpose here, keep in mind, is that we had to price anchor your buyer. Okay. Very important to price anchor him at 10.5 to kind of wrap his head around probably the most money he's going to pay. Right. So, right. Cause you don't want to just try to say like, oh, he's going to top out at 9 million. I don't mind negotiating, but I need to price anchor him at 10.5.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he was too opposed. I mean, of course, we'll have to see, which we'll see. But yeah, his 1031 deal is exactly for I think 10.2 million or 10.3, so it's like right at the number 2. So
okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just saying, you know, like I think that, but that's why we do that, right? Like you don't go back to the buyer and say like, oh yeah, let's negotiate. Let's only offer him 8.5. I think I think the seller's full of shit. We don't say those things. Right?
Yeah.
We must always price anchor.
Right, yeah.
You must always price anchor at a higher number. Maybe more than he'll even ever pay, right? Like, I don't know if he'll ever pay anywhere near 10.5. He might not. But for us to say anything lower than that and then all of a sudden he has to pay that number, it's going to be a problem. Right. So anyways, we're in a good place.
Right expectation.
Yeah, exactly right. It's all about setting up expectations. So we're in a good place. Let's try to get the father on the phone and then let's see. We got to follow up with Rotem today. Okay. Later today, we'll get him on the phone.
Okay, perfect. Should I try calling the father right now while I have you on the phone again, or should we just do it later?
Just shoot him a text and just say, hey, it's it's Saji, give me a call, whatever, right?
Sounds good.
Okay. Let me know.
Perfect.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you,
Bye.
Henry. Bye.
Let's get back to prospecting. We got 30 more minutes here. Let's keep it going. If you guys have anything, I wasn't reading any of the chat, so let's read some of the chat. What time do I start cold calling? My team starts prospecting between 8 and 8:30 in the morning. That dude is a clown. The son got greedy. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a greedy individual. Sounds like it. Excellent point in getting all parties involved, especially with LLCs, LPs, family offices, etc. 100%. You have to have all parties and get a very, very clear idea of what all parties are thinking. Because you might be speaking with the one person in the party, like in the investment company, who actually wants to sell, and then everybody else doesn't. Right. So keep that in mind that will change everything. This is the way I would approach it is my best client. My client could do is 9.
Hello, and please listen carefully as our...
Yeah. So how soon can you approve the offer? Yeah. So here's the thing. When I say my best offer is 9 million or something like that with them at this stage in the game, without speaking to my client and knowing that they're willing to go to 9 million, because I don't even know if they're willing to pay 9. I know, like, again, I was pitching them the offer at 9. They said they might be able to pay 8.5. I know they have the capability of paying 9, but I don't want to say something I can't perform on, right? Because even if he was willing to agree to 9, I don't know if I can even get my guy to 9. Now, obviously, after this conversation, clearly the guy seems like he probably can pay 10.5, or at least close to it, hopefully. But what I don't mind doing is saying, like, listen, the seller wants 10.5. If you can mentally wrap your head around paying 10.5, I don't mind going back. Hey, Will?
Hello, it's me, George. Leave a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
All right, that is not Will. Okay. So anyways, if I can make sure the buyer can pay 10.5, I never mind. Like, and again, I'll tell the buyer this. If you can make sense of 10.5 million, okay, talk to your partner. Let's say you can wrap your head around 10.5. Say like that, it's a go at 10.5. Great. Let's go back at 9.5 million. Let's try to save you $1 million. Right. But what I don't want them to do is say that I can never make sense at 10.5 million. Right. And then all of a sudden, you're stuck in this game. Hey, Will.
Recording, you may hang up.
All right. No, Will. We're going to be prospecting for about another 30-ish minutes. We're going to go till about 12 Eastern today. See what we can make happen. Because remember, you can only make the next move in a negotiation once you have approval from X party, right? So like if I'm in the middle, right? I'm a broker in this instance, okay? And I'm trying to have the seller come down and buyer come up.
Voice messaging system.
Without knowing that a party is willing to come down to X price or come up to X price, I can't make assumptions, right? I can never just guess that they're willing to do that or say that they're willing to make X, Y, Z happen. But if I know right now, I know my buyer's willing to pay $8 million cash, and I know the seller, right? Let me go next. And I know the seller is willing to accept 10 million cash, or at least around that point. Okay. He'd be an idiot to not take that. Okay. So no matter what, and here's the thing, he didn't even agree to 10 million. He's like, I'll have a very serious conversation about it at 10 million. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Maybe he was willing to take 9. Maybe he's willing to take 9.5. I don't know. But I know now, based on benchmarks and what they've specifically stated, I'm willing to do business at X. I can only speak on those points. I can't speak on anything else, right? Because none of it was proven. None of it has actually been, stated 100% by either party. So those are some key points that you need to be careful about, right? You need to be very careful, because all of a sudden, you can be saying like, oh yeah, well, we're willing to, pay 9, say, oh, well, the buyer's willing to pay 9 million. And the seller goes, okay, you know what? Let's do 9 million. I'm okay with 9 million cash, whatever. And then all of a sudden you can't perform, right? That's the problem. Can start at 8:30 a.m. for regular wholesaling homes? Sure, why not? Yeah, I mean, I used to prospect I don't know, maybe 8 years ago-ish. I was starting to prospect at 7:30 in the morning. That's when I would start my prospecting calls. Now, obviously, in my area, it was a very large commuter area. A lot of people were commuting. As community work, a lot of people worked in the city, right? I grew up in New Jersey. I still sell in New Jersey. But it's a huge commuter area, and obviously since COVID, it's kind of changed a little bit. So this is way pre-COVID. So like everyone was in the car at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's like when you're calling at 7:30 and you're getting people on the phone at 7:40, 7:45, you're the first person who calls them. Number one. Number two, they're in the car, not doing anything. They're not no one else is typically taking calls at that early in the morning. So you typically have a good pickup rate. So anyways, yeah, I used to call that early, but we don't anymore. Hey, Rose.
Sorry. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking for the property owner of a building on Engle Street in Englewood.
Oh, they're not here, but you can leave a message.
Sure. So I was looking for Rose.
Phone number?
Yeah. I was looking for Rose. My name is Henry. And I was calling about a building on Engle Street in Englewood.
Okay, can I have the name?
Sure. My name is Henry.
Okay, awesome.
Ironstone Equities is the company.
Firestone Equities. Okay. Callback number?
Callback number. My office line is the best one, which is 908-216-6532.
Any extension?
No.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks so much. On to the next people. NJ commute to New York City. Everybody's up. That is correct. That is correct. Guys, if you want to learn how to prospect at a higher level and generate endless leads, so you can have conversations like we just had with an owner who's looking to sell a $10 million building and try to make a few $100,000 while you're doing it, make sure you join our SKOOL community. It's absolutely free for the first 7 days. And then it goes to $27 a month, which is literally $6 a live session. It's the most affordable program we have right now. Specifically focused on prospecting, lead generation, creating opportunities. Hey, Rose?
Again, press any.
Anyways, so other than that, because right now, guys, we're at 140 members. We'd love to be able to support you guys in dominating your success when it comes to prospecting commercial real estate. I mean, look, in that type of deal, if this guy says yes to $10.5 million, we're going to make $500,000 on this deal. Okay. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to make not only some good money, but make our client happy.
You know what to do.
Yes, sir. Just got in. I would love to work with you, but I currently wholesale off market only, and I have a VA that I call. Could use that same system. Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not?
This call may be recorded for quality assurance.
The word at least 10 million wasn't helpful. I agree with you 100%. You never know. Someone says, I'll take at least 10 million, right? I would sell my building at least 10 million. It doesn't mean he'll sell for 10 million, right? So you got to be careful with certain word tracks, people. You got to really be paying attention to what they say, right? You're not just in the conversation, but be really careful and listen for every word that they're saying, because it all matters, right? Because if I say to you, I'll take at least $10 million, it does not mean I'll take $10 million. I might not even agree to 11 million. You never know. So I might want 11.5. I'm like, honestly, if someone like, just screw you, like it's just like you're being stupid now, right? He's like, well, we don't want to sell. Like you're closing down a business, man. Like, come on now. Like you're closing down a business. Hey, James, leave a message. Okay, I can respect it. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I'm just going to send out a couple of messages here.
Forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 516965347.
Doing some follow-up text messages in the meantime. By the way, guys, if you're in South Florida, real quick, guys, if you're in South Florida and you'd like to join me at a meetup, we're doing on the 26th, Sunday, the 26th. If you're interested in joining us for our meetup, Sunday, the 26th, it's going to be in South Florida, probably in the greater Miami-Dade area. Hey, Brian?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was looking for Brian, please.
Wouldn't be the number to contact.
Okay, sorry, wrong number. So if you'd like to join us at our meetup, again, it's going to be in the greater Miami-Dade area. We haven't decided on the location yet. We have two options right now we're working on. Email me at info@henryeisenstein.com. It's in this little description thing that's rolling around, as well as you can email us. You can email us at info@henryeisenstein.com. Just say meetup, or you can DM me on Instagram saying the word meetup. And my team will take care of it. Excited to meet you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun, hang out, have a good time, smoke cigars, mastermind a little bit, and talk a lot of real estate, talk investments, talk business. If you'd like to join us here in South Florida at our meetup, make sure you just DM me on Instagram, word meetup, or email me.
Thank you.
This conversation, this list is rough. Let's call a different one. We're calling another list right now. For the last 20 minutes, we're going to be prospecting a retail list. Let's see what we can make happen.
Is available to take your call. At the tone, please record your message.
See what we can make happen, people.
Your voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Please enter the number 89.
I drive around a lot and I see a few vacant commercial properties, some even in foreclosure. Can we call and score you on these ways too? Possibly. I mean, look, if it's vacant, you're going to have a higher likelihood than if it's foreclosed, right? Like, hey, Charlie.
Hello? I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry. I was looking for Roberta.
This is her. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi, my name is Henry. I was calling about a building on Round Hill Drive in Rockaway. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Are you the property owner?
No, my father is.
Okay. Is there a better time I can get a hold of him or speak to him? I was calling him about I don't even know. I'm sorry. I apologize if I got you on the phone incorrectly. I just had a few numbers here connected to the address. I run an investment company and we're looking to acquire a few more properties in the area. And I was just curious if your father might consider selling the building.
He's not selling the building at this current time, but down the road, things obviously change. He's operating his company out of the building currently.
That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Well, look, I guess I'll keep in touch and maybe something will change in the future.
All right, sounds good. Thank
Thanks. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
So actually, I have him in our CRM already, and I have his cell phone, so I can give him a call. And my agent actually just spoke to him about 2 months ago, so I can have them follow up. But call him on this list here. Yeah, if it's in foreclosure, I probably wouldn't waste your time. But if it's just completely vacant, why not? If it's in foreclosure, you're gonna have a very tough time trying to do the deal. Hey, Brett.
Continue Ministries.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking for Brett, please.
For who?
Brett
Last name?
Paddock.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second. We've actually reached the Jacksonville location. He's based out of our New Jersey facility.
I have the number here. All right, I'll give him a call. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you now.
Yep, bye. How's the month going, and what are the average closing times it takes on a commercial property to close from acquisition? Yeah, commercial properties take somewhere between, roughly, I'd say anywhere between 60 and 120 days on average. You know, call it 90 days, I guess, on average. And obviously for development, it can be substantially longer. But I typically will estimate somewhere around 90, maybe 120 days. It says also, where do you send lists? Our list we build from a deal machine to get skip traced. So you can skip trace. So we use CoStar, Reonomy, Cruxy, and IDI for our lead lists. You can use any of those platforms. Hello, James. Guess no James. You can use any of those platforms. Tom says foreclosures might be tough to deal with, especially with banks involved. 100%. I agree with you. I agree. 100%. Can you make a video of uploading a list to a dialer, please? You said to a dialer, but I'm guessing you meant dialer. I don't know why you'd upload a lead list to a diaper. But yes, if you go to any one of our, you look up like any Reonomy or Moto video creating, you'll see it there. Hey, Steven?
From the following extension.
I've already uploaded a video. I've already uploaded a video that talks about it. You can see it on YouTube. If you subscribe to my channel, you can go on any of the videos that talk about Mojo. You'll see how to upload the lead list to a dialer. All right, we've got about another 15 minutes. See if we can get any more leads here. I had a good couple conversations, obviously. Not too shabby. Would like another seller lead. Oh, my goodness gracious. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a couple more follow-up calls because obviously this is not.
Please leave me a message. Thank you.
Let me see if I can get this guy on the phone here real fast. Do a quick follow-up. Prop stream is okay. I mean, for commercial properties, it's not ideal. For residential, it's great. You know, smaller commercial properties, you can find some things in prop stream, but you already have it. You might as well use it. Let's see if I can get this guy on the phone here.
Your call has been.
Okay. I'm going to send a message to this guy real quick because I know I got to send him a quick message. Still, hey, brother, do you want me to send you an NDA signed already? Make it easier for you. I'll probably just do that, make it easy. Let's see what we can make happen here. 1 second. Let's look at our to-do list for today. Okay. Let's follow up with these guys. We got 10 minutes here, see if I can do any of these follow-up calls real quick. Try to get them all out of the way, would be nice.
You reached the cell phone of John.
All right, that's one down. He said he would call me back, and he still hasn't. Let's get this guy on the phone here. So I'm going to send that guy an NDA. I already have one that I have signed. Easy enough. Just going to forward it to him because he wants an NDA. I just can't afford any of those platforms currently. Yeah, I just use, if you have PropStream, just continue to use PropStream. There's no reason to spend extra money, close the deal, then reinvest, you know? Rudy says, have you ever templated a list of multifamily with pictures? And
Hello,
yeah, hey Jerry, it's Henry Eisenstein. How you doing?
Henry Eisenstein.
Yes, I've spoken to you a half a dozen times about the building in Hackensack that your son runs.
Right.
I sent you an email 3 times now with the offer, like I had mentioned, for 1.4 million.
Yeah.
And then again at 1.5 million.
Well, right now I'm not feeling good. I'm just being medicated, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So
Do you want me to speak to your son? Maybe that might be easier.
you could speak to Brian. Give me a date. Let me speak to him and tell him in advance. All right.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, so I'll call you back tomorrow. But yeah, if you want to give me his number, I can call him directly, and this way you can
call my office. He's in the office.
He's in the office. All right, then that's fine.
201-489-0909.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let me make sure I get this correctly. I'm sorry, my pen's not working. One more time.
201.
Yep.
489.
Yep.
0909.
Okay, I'll give him a call.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Brian,
Awesome. Thank you, Jerry.
I'll give him a call today and tell him to expect a call from you tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, have a good one. Bye. Okay, so got some contact information. We like it. We're going to follow up with this guy and see what happens here. Okay, have you ever templated a list of multifamily with pictures and entire sheet with details, the whole 9 yards? Many of those multifamily listings are so detailed. Yeah, I mean, look, you can pull a list of any sort you want. I mean, like, I've done every type of list you can possibly imagine. I think that most importantly, it's just getting them on the phone. I mean, I don't like to overcomplicate things, and anything that's more complicated, I typically don't do it. Let's go back to my list of who to call today. 1 second. No. Yes, handle that already. All right, this is a good one. Let me see if I can get this guy on the phone. Okay. I'm getting way too many calls at the same time, guys. I get so many calls at the same time. It's kind of mind-boggling. Okay, hold on. I need to get this guy on the phone. Oh, I think it was, what's his name? Brendan? Here we go. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness.
Your call has been forwarded to.
Of course. This guy goes, Henry, the building is no longer for sale. Okay, we're at 11:55. We're going to try to make a few more follow-up calls in the meantime. We're not going to continue cold calling for today. Already had a few people reach out about the meetup. Love to meet you guys. Probably the 26th is going to be the game plan. As of right now, I'll keep you guys posted. Let's see what other people say here. Okay, guy, what's your criteria that I should pull if I want to bring you properties? Yeah, I mean, ideally in New Jersey, we look for them. We look for properties. Oh, this is so freaking annoying. This guy is asking for the same thing 3 times because he didn't receive it. I don't know how you didn't receive it because I sent it to you. Hold on. Don't you love it when they just don't receive something? Share. Okay. Sent again. There you go. If you're looking to send me properties, by the way, we're looking ideally in the state of New Jersey for any type of larger, better, multifamily, industrial, or retail, or self-storage facilities. Those are our main products. In the state of Florida, industrial or self-storage facilities, larger mobile home parks, larger apartment buildings, larger retail properties. We'd all take a look at that. We would anywhere else in the country, if you're looking out of state, out of New Jersey or out of Florida, which are our 2 main markets, we would like to be, we look for ideally larger apartment buildings, self-storage facilities. Those are going to be a couple of in Missouri, you're saying larger apartment buildings or self-storage facilities. Those are going to really be the main things out of state. If it's not in New Jersey, it's going to be tough for me to do it. However, in like the greater Chicago area, we also can do larger multifamily properties. We can do industrial deals. We can do self-storage, mobile home parks. We can do just about anything out in Chicago as well. If it's in New York, mobile home parks, really, I guess a lot of the same stuff. I mean, it just depends. We have some buyers in New York as well that I work with regularly. PA, same thing. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in bringing me any deals so we can try to do some deals together, just like you saw me negotiating a deal there, in the description down below, it says if you have deals you'd like to pitch to me, you can literally schedule a call to discuss any and all deals that you have. Down in the description down below, book it now. Share it with me. I don't. Doesn't help. Let's see here. It says I have a large storage facility in Springfield. Okay, sure. I mean, if as long as it's off market and it's a mom and pop deal, if it's like a life storage, extra space storage, we're not interested in that kind of product. We're looking for mom and pop, large mom and pops, off market, self storage facilities. So if you have anything, again, in the description, or you can email me, info@henryeisenstein.com. You can send us anything you have. It's 11:58. I got a 12 o'clock Zoom today. Obviously, today, a couple interesting conversations, not a lot of great cold call leads, but we're going to get back after it on Friday. So if you guys would like to tune in again for these live cold calling sessions, you enjoy the content, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, or follow wherever you are following the content here. And I'll see you guys live on Friday. And by the way, if you'd like to join me every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. EST. We have live training. It's in our school community. I do it every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. EST. I love to see you there. But we talk about how to enhance your skill sets when it comes to prospecting, follow-up, conversions, everything to do with scripting, everything around generating more opportunities, just like we talked about today, so you guys can make more money. It's literally absolutely free for 7 days. You take advantage of the program for 7 days for absolutely free. It's a free 7-day trial, and then it goes to $27 a month, which comes to about $6 per training. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys check out anything you need, free resources, courses, content of anything in the description down below. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on Friday for the next live cold calling session. And if you're in the school community tomorrow, 4 p.m., do not be late. I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Take care.